Okay. Welcome everyone, I'm Lisa and you're watching One Lisa Show, and this episode I have taped a few times, but I was sick the past couple of weeks. So I had a sinus infection and it developed a little bronchial going on, but I'm doing a lot better now, and I'm hopefully not going to clear my throat as much or cough as much when I'm trying to talk to the camera. I was lucky enough that I tested negative for COVID. I honestly didn't think it was because I do have sinus issues, and it was definitely a lot of sinus drainage. But hey ho, I'm here, and in the week and a half I had been miserable. I had done a lot of crafting and sewing, and so I thought, hey, it's Friday Sews, so let's get it on. Welcome. So let's get started. On Christmas, I decided to start my second pair of socks. I don't remember if I shared that at all or not with you, but I have finished my first sock. It still needs to be blocked, and I need a sock blocker. I think I'm going to have to do this pair without one, but I really would. I'm nervous. A lot of mixed reviews on the sock blockers I'm seeing on Amazon. I did go to Joann's and did not see anything, nothing sock block, nothing blocking. I didn't see anything for blocking in the yarn section. So here's my first sock. This is a free pattern, Yarn Inspirations. It's the same pattern I did my first pair of socks on, so I went for it. And this is Emma's yarn. I'm already working on sock 2 from pair 2. And this is how far I got. So I'm getting almost at the point where we're going to do the heel flap. But this is the yarn. It was the most expensive yarn I've ever bought in my life. I think it was $26. And that was enough to make a full pair of socks, which it obviously is going to be enough to make a full pair. Plus, I think I'll have a little scrap extra. But this was their November color of the month. And it is really pretty. It's showing up well on the screen from what I see. Almost like a sherbet when I'm done, when I'm working it. But you can see the yellow. It's almost like a raspberry pink. There's a little orangey in there. Really cute. That was an impulse buy. I was at my local yarn store in November, actually, and I saw it on the counter and I just grabbed it, didn't even look at the price, and it was $26. But I'm very happy with it. It's very easy to work with. I love the feel of the finished sock, so I'm looking forward to it. I actually have another sock yarn that I had purchased over the summer when I was working on my first sock. That one I can't wait. I'll share it with you. I haven't started it, but the ball of yarn is alive and well, and I can't wait to start using that one. But I have to finish the sock first. Socks. This is my second pair of socks. I am not a full-on knitter by any means. A lot of things I have to YouTube. And I have to Google, and I have to search to see how to do it because I don't understand it. So I kind of have gotten into knitting without any formal education on it, just going for it. And I'm really happy with the first pair of socks I made. I'm very happy with this one so far. But I'm not a serious knitter, so I shouldn't be spending $26 for one hank of yarn to make one pair of socks. But I'm enjoying it. Knitting is something I can do on the couch when we're watching Wheel of Fortune after dinner before we go to bed. It's something I can just do. It doesn't make any noise, whereas a sewing machine does. And I can watch TV and zone out and just work on it. So I'm really enjoying knitting in the evenings. The other item I wanted to share with you that I kind of went a little hog wild on, and I only have a few to show, but Megan Nielsen has released a children's version of their free Acacia knickers or panties that's a free pattern. That's the pattern I use to make my own underwear. I thought, why not? I'm going to check my scraps, and I am going to go full throttle and try to make my niece's underwear. I purchased some more panty elastic from Bra Builders, which is pretty close to me. So shipping, I usually get it same within a few days of ordering. I'm using scraps, but here's one pair I've made. Very happy with that. Second pair. And these are the ones, so they might kind of look funky on the screen because they've been in a bag. And then my niece loves black, and I have black jersey, so I used a mint green. This is going to kind of look a little neon-y from the light and being up against all this black, but it is called Pistachio, and it is available on Bra Builders right now. Kind of cute. Light mint green, but pistachio. I had made a few more, and those are already with my sister, so she could wash them and then give them to the girls. But I'm enjoying this using scraps, and that leads me to one of my 2022 things I want to accomplish. So I've seen a lot of people's stashes on YouTube, and I have stash envy, and I had bought a lot of fabric. I know it's nothing compared to what some people have for a stash, but I have a nice fabric stash, and if you hold on one second, I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is my sewing closet for winter, and these are my fabrics now. So not a lot. There's my head poking up. So it's not a lot compared to others, but to me, there's a good amount of fabric up there, and there's a lot of fabrics that I bought with the intentions to make something like a dress or something fun. I've gotten a lot of grab bags from Minerva, so I have a lot of 1 yard and 2 yard cut, or 1 meter, 2 meter cuts, and those are great because I can do different things with those also. My goal in 2022 is now to use some of this fabulous fabric up and to reduce my spending. When I buy fabric, I want to focus on buying quality fabric for items I feel confident in making. I still want to muslin things out with cheaper fabric, and I am all for being more selective in what I make myself. I also want to use my scraps. This winter, during our Christmas break, we took our guest room closet, which was recently emptied out, and we turned it into my winter sewing space because the attic can get a little too cold to sew for hours on end. I still have my cutting table and my cutting board and my ironing board up there, and all my scraps and my patterns. But for purposes of me sitting and sewing, this works really good, and I intend to bring my ironing board in the guest room and then put it back in the closet. Everything kind of, the doors close, and perfectly my sewing space is gone, and it's a guest bedroom. I'm really looking forward to getting some of my stash sewn and focusing on pieces I really need in my wardrobe and what I want to make and where I want to be creative. That being said, the other project I worked on in the past 2 weeks is a pair of joggers for my niece. So this is cheap fabric from Joann's. It's a I shouldn't say it's cheap. It was like $9 a yard. But the fabric I have that I want to make her sweatpants with or joggers with was definitely more expensive, and it was cotton and super soft and snuggly, and from Minerva. This was from Joann's, and I took her measurements, and I kind of converted the Stella joggers, and I still need her to try them on. But basically, I made a size 1 Stella jogger. I shortened it by 2 or 3 inches because she has really long legs. and I did the elastic to her size of her waist. Now, I do think the back is going to be a little too baggy for her, but I won't know until she tries it on. And then I have lined pockets with some scraps. I did not do a hem or cuff because basically I'm trying to check on the length. So that was it. I have the same fabric. I cut out a pair of Stella joggers for my mom in a size 4, and I'm going to whip those up hopefully in the next day or so, just so I could see how that size fits on her, because I also bought some fabric from Minerva that I want to make a pair of Stella joggers for her out of a color I fell in love with. And I know it's one of her favorite colors. I want to be able to make a pair, but because that was also more expensive, I'm going to do it out of the scraps of this, make sure it fits and she likes them. So it's been a pretty busy couple of weeks, even though I was bronchitis, and uncomfortable, not feeling good. Say happy Friday sews. I actually watched Today in Jen's Sewing Room. The other day she did a closet clean out. I watched it, and maybe Jen, maybe you make so many clothes and you've made clothes through the years, whereas I've only been doing this like a year and a half now, right? I can't do it, but I do think the same as you. She's like, I ran out of hangers. Instead of going and buying more hangers, I need to get rid of some of my clothes. I think the same way, but I've actually gone through this year, in the past year, every time I run out of hangers, I go through and I'm picking out clothes that I haven't worn in like a year or so that isn't a me made. Something that was a little too tight on me, or maybe not my favorite fabric, or was stained, and I'm like, okay, it's time for you to go. And Jen's going through all her clothes, and some of them I'm like, oh my God, they're so pretty. Why doesn't she wear it? But some, she was really honest, and she said, this doesn't fit as great as, it's not as practical as I'm moving through the day. It, creeps up here or there. So she has been, that's something everybody, I guess, no matter how talented, how experienced you are of a sewist, sometimes the fabric doesn't work with the pattern or the curve of your body. Even if you sewed it fine, it sometimes just isn't a perfect mesh. So I don't feel bad now knowing that some of my fabric, some of my things I've made from a picture look like they fit, but as I'm moving through the day, and your body has all these curves and joints, it doesn't work so great. So that was relieving, but I watched that. It was refreshing, relieving, and I felt bad for you, and I wanted to go buy you another package of hangers and say, don't get rid of some of those. All right, check out her video if you didn't check it out. I think everybody can relate to that, whether you make clothes or you don't. Especially this time of year, there's this feeling of wanting to just purge for some people, and I'm one of them. I'm actually going to go through some things in my office and try to toss out the junk I don't need, and like old business cards and articles I saved that probably are no longer relevant to my field or the market. So I'm going to work on that this afternoon. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy your Friday. And check out all the other Friday Sews video YouTubers out there. Yeah, I'm going to work on my Stella joggers for my mom. And probably more panties for the girls. Maybe a pair of panties for me. And that's it. As I work through my stash, I'm going to share as I pick up little tips and tricks too. That's my goal. So yeah. Enjoy, guys. It's good talking. And I will hopefully see you soon. Bye-bye.